Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Healthy Energising Homes. Healthy Energising Homes is a new product that NFB Consultants will be presenting. We're celebrating our 13th year work anniversary, and we are just. This is my passion. This has been a few years in the making, and it's really about celebrating our bodies within our environment. So, Healthy Energising Home is about changing the directions of how you view yourself and your home, advancing by moving forward into a new paradigm shift, to learn new skills, to act upon them, and to balance your environment. The contents for today, here will be a quick introduction to myself, what is Healthy Energising Homes, the vibrational frequency of your home, and energy reading of your home and how that comes about. What the generative principle within your home and land, and solutions. And then we'll talk a bit about the services and the new course that I've put together online. And any questions that you have, please write them down and I'll be happy to answer them at the end. Can't hear that, so I'm going to say it instead. Let me go back on. Right. So, people joining. So, architecture, my name is Jerry Bailey, and I've been an architect with over 30 years experience in residential, commercial. Could you mute your mic, please? Thank you. Yes, so start again. I'm Cherry, the architect, and I've got over 30 years experience in residential, commercial, and leisure fields. My passion is the living environment and how well our body copes within this new paradigm shift and what is the new normal. How do we live in a digital and electrical technology age? Knowing thyself is key to staying healthy and maintaining an energetic frequency to support our body. Understanding how the natural laws of color, light, and elements and vibration can enhance the qualities of your home and personal life is key. Space clearing, harmonizing, vitalizing, and feng shui and vastu and biogeometries are some of the sciences and tools that I use, as well as being very intuitive and using a lot of just connecting in to the client and being able to work through, we can say telepathy, but it's more about just attuning and resonating with the qualities of the client. So let LFB Consultants take you through the tour of self-discovery to enhance your internal and external environment via a series of webinars like these and the online course which is now being promoted. Let us be harmonized with our environment, because it's very important that we create a healthy future where we are harmonized with ourselves and our environment. So what is Healthy Energising Homes? Healthy Energising Homes is a unique opportunity to explore how your home, using metaphysical ideologies to support lifestyle choices and enhance your experience internally and externally. Your home and your body has a vibration. Understanding how we respond to these vibrations is key to enhancing our well-being. So as we all hopefully are aware of, we are electrical beings. We have electrical impulses, and the whole of our body, which is made up of water and various nitrogen and carbon and other minerals, we are energetically we're energetic beings, which enable us to move around the planet in different ways. So we all have a sense of how well we feel in ourselves. And sometimes we wake up feeling amazingly energetic, high, sometimes we're feeling low. But could this be your environment? Could this be where you're living? So we'll explore that more. My unique strength is intuitive access and fluidity to aesthetic realms, love of life, transformation of patterns by correction of the mind, body, and space, and deconstruction and reconstruction of relationship with the sensual self through form. By using various tools like astrology, biogeometry, feng shui, color technology, resonance, biopendulums, sound clearing, numerology, light codes, and tarots. Now, these may seem like very spiritual aspects, but the one thing that we have lost over the past few hundred years is the spiritual connection to our spaces. It's very important. That's how we created communities. That's how we created cities. So for me, what is the internal influence that we have? When you were born, you came from a womb. And within this womb, we started to develop our senses. So our sense of hearing, sound waves was being emitted through our mother to us. And we were in water, so we began to be able to understand frequencies from that space. When we came out of the womb, we came into an external environment where we had the sun, the moon, we had gamma rays, we had solar rays, different violet spectrums. We had a whole heap of frequencies that we had to now get used to being outside of the mother's womb. Within there, we was cocooned, we was taken care of. We are now out here, and the skin, which is the biggest organ on our body, is now here to help us to navigate our environment. Just 1 second. Didn't realize my laptop wasn't plugged in. Rookie's problem, eh? Just 1 second. So as we move on, how do we understand the vibrational frequency of our home? For me, everything's a house, and I'm going to show you how your internal and external is shown in our environment. There is latent spaces, there's gaps, there's womb, there's darkness, there's void. And within this space, we create. So if you had to plant a seed, you would plant the seed in the ground, because within the ground, it gets all the nutrients and it becomes what it knows it's going to be later on in life. But it has yet to be influenced by the external forces. Similarly, ourselves have the same experience. What you will find is that as a physical person, the Russian dolls is excellent at showing you the various bodies that you have. The physical body is the one that you inhabit and you move around in. But then there is etheric bodies, emotional, mental, astral, and spiritual bodies. Similarly, on the external, we have the elements, which is elements, minerals, nature, houses, village, cities. These are like the connection to our external environment. Again, how we are influenced is through air, sound, electric, magnetism, and light. And again, on the external, it is through the directions, it's through the elements of fire, wind, air, and earth, crystals, wood, cave, bricks, and steel. So all of these things are influencers every day, and they all have a frequency, and we all have to be harmonized with this. And as an architect and as a designer, it is our responsibility to create cities that people can live in, that is harmonized. Over the years, with the past 100 years, I think after the 18th century, it definitely has changed in the 19th century, whereby the architect was given less authority to design and to create from a metaphysical space. And it was sort of made into a science whereby you are now being told developers or landowners or people can do what they want, but then the architect is like a subsidiary to it. It's like being told what to do rather than influencing our culture. And if you look through time, And obviously, when you go into ancient sites, you will see how architecture was very crucial to the development of cities and of communities and of lifestyles. So in a way, we're really going back to the future, because now those information was taken away from us, and now it's been given back. So my purpose is to bond through the inspiration, educating how to transform and manifest latent spaces, correcting experiences to shift focus to benefit, organize, and revitalize internal and external houses and the environment. And the way that we do this is through art and architecture. So the standard architecture that we all know about, you get an architect to prepare plans, develop a scheme, and etc. Then there's healthy, energizing homes, which is to sit beside feng shui, vastu, and different systems like that, really as another mechanism of bringing the internal self, the human being, the anomaly of human beings, because with our thoughts, we can change a lot of things. And because of that, we were stripped away from the actual creative process. So now it's like your home is your creative space. It is your womb. And this is where you should go home to rest and relax. So it's about bringing that back into the home and creating communities and cities from your families by creating them and bonding them together. So how do we read ourselves and our homes? Well, through definitely Chinese sciences of feng shui and I Ching and various other aspects of astrology, we find that actually our bodies and our internal organs resonates to certain qualities within the mineral spectrum. So you have to really kind of understand that your heart is your joy, and your heart will be the fire. So that's a fire element. Your spleen will be the earth, it's an earth element. Your lungs would be the metal, and your bladder and when your liver will be your water element. And then the kidneys will be the wood, because it's through growth. So just understanding, bringing back into our homes that our homes and the spaces we're in has a correlation to ourselves is very important. Just checking, there'll be some more people entering the So it's just about us understanding how these elements, how our bodily organs fit within our home environment. So a case study is that I had a client who was very spiritual, and one day just couldn't go into her bedroom. She just couldn't understand why. She's been living in this house for a good 10, 20 years, and couldn't understand why one day she walked into her room and she just felt very ill. She just couldn't sleep in her environment. So she asked me to find out what was potentially happening to this room and why she was not able to live in there and sleep in there anymore. And eventually she had to sleep in her spare room until we worked out what it was. Through biogeometry, I was able to look at the floor plan and work out what was happening in the space. One of the key things to understand with the tools of using pendulums is that we can do it very remotely. So we don't actually need to be in the environment. We can have a floor plan because everything's connected. And what we found was that outside her bedroom was a sky dish. The neighbor had put a sky dish for her house, but close to the neighbor's bedroom window. Now, a sky dish in itself was not the issue. However, we do know there's electromagnetic fields around the sky dish. But what was actually amplifying this problem was that there was a little tree that was knocked down, and there was a vortex that was being created from this tree, the resonance of this tree living. And the fact that the sky dish was sending these frequencies to the house, this was amplified by this vortex, which is in turn making the room unbearable for this particular client. So what we had to do was use geometry, which is another form of how we can help spaces to clear them, give them better energy, and to really to balance them with your own frequency. And we was able to use that and also find out what level of consciousness was this problem happening. Because sometimes we, being physical beings, we believe that everything is a physical problem. But as I can show you before, when I was showing you the houses and the different types of houses and the different bodies that we have, is that you could be affected on your emotional body or your mental body or your etheric body, you know, or your astral body. So all of these things have to now is beginning to become very important, particularly with the electromagnetic fields being so much more being in use. Before, we wasn't being used as much, so it wasn't a problem. So again, going back to what energy, frequency, and vibration is, we're really looking at the human body, and we're understanding how within our own bodies we have these elements, and how these particular things affect us. So, for instance, you would see the green, which is the bladder, which will be wood, gallbladder, and that's about growth. So, understanding how your body, how your gallbladder, if you've got gallbladder problems or you've got problems in that area, it could be about the growth being able to grow and to expand. Your heart is fire, so, and it's also your small intestine. So when you eat, you're generating a fire within there. Your stomach and your spleen will also be the earth. So therefore it needs more grounding, it needs more earthy kind of elements. Your lungs is steel, and you have to understand if your small intestines are inside your stomach area, what you're finding is that that's going to burn, and like an oven, if it overheats, you're going to have gases and winds and feel uncomfortable. And then also your kidneys and your bladder is your water element. So as you can see on the other side, we have a floor plan, and over that floor plan, we can insert those same aspects and start to correlate them to our bodies to see how our bodies may be affected. Because we have heard, hopefully, of sick room or sick house syndrome. And sometimes it's important to understand that you may buy a property, and for whatever reason, the person that was living there before may have had an illness. And years later, you may acquire that illness without knowing, but it's because that space had not been cleared and that room is still resonating with that frequency. So the whole thing is really to understand your home and your footprint, and understand what rooms, what areas you are working in, living in, and whether it is being harmonized with your own specific way of working. So also the electromagnetic fields that we have cell towers, we have satellite dish, power lines, substations, sat-nav, electric cars. Now we're bringing all of that into the homes. We're having electric homes where it's all about electricity. So we really are on the precipice of having to take real decisions on how we look after ourselves, because society in the head will always keep moving forward and will be using this stuff. And what the one thing that they will not explain to us is that the more the electromagnetic field is being used, the more heat it's going to create. And then they're going to tell you that they got ozone problems and we've got, problems with that. But it's really because we're using so much of the electromagnetic field, and, smoke, electric smoke and all these kind of things will become real unless we all take responsibility of doing stuff. And there is a lot of stuff on the market that is very good to help you clear that within your own space. So again, just sort of looking at, our daily lives and how much more this is really becoming part of our daily lives, and how, stresses and feeling gratitude, brain fog, headaches. It's affecting us. And we really need to take that on board. And as a designer, I feel it's very important to take that on board. So Healthy Energizing Home is offering to unravel the mystery of this manifestation of the electromagnetic field and using your own personal intuitive abilities to create a cultural and personal resonance. Reasons. Why? Why should we do this? Well, our aim really is to help teach you about a new concept of self within your home, within your environment, the self known to you and not to anyone else. The Aquarius age is now bringing this awareness of this aspect and its qualities into our lives. Healthy Energizing Home objective is to reintroduce you to the frequency of yourself, because we all have one. And we haven't been taught how to understand what our frequency is, and even what electromagnetic fields we actually are naturally living on. You came in under a frequency, and that's really important for you to understand for your longitude of your health, that you need to know what frequency do you actually have. So if we look at homes, it's really important to bring this back into your space through wood, through paint, through color. You know, it's really about understanding our environment. And when this particular client was amazing to have, because she literally had a house that they were renting, and then they decided that they was going to move into it. So they gutted it and we started from scratch. And it's, you know, I love going back there. I go back there every few years just for them to tell me how much they love being in the house and how much their lives have changed since being in the house as well. And what's really good is understanding that in the little corner where you see the northwestern directions, that's the Vashtu system, and that's an ancient Indian system whereby the body was very important to its space. So it's not that I'm bringing something that hasn't been done before, but we are now reinventing it for the new age that we are living in at the moment. So that's really important to do. And I mean, Feng Shui is about the way of the wind and the water, and Vashtu is about the dwelling house which was your dwelling. So it's really about marrying those two things up with yourself. Light and color is very important to us as well, because light and color is frequency. So whatever color you paint your house, whatever color you wear, it all gives a resonance. It has a frequency that's emitting, and it also tells people around you where you're at as well. So color therapy is about emotions, mental and etheric. Then you have the visible spectrum of light, which is really important to understand where what you see, the solar rays and the gamma rays, which are unseen, but they are all affecting your body. Sound, harmonic vibrations, rhythms, and music, just harmony in itself. We all know a harmonic sound, and sometimes we get very disturbed in ourselves and in our minds when we hear something that doesn't please us. And also art. So color is very important to us, and that is how we navigate this realm. And as you can see from a house that was, you know, before it's painted, you can see that it has no real life force in there. It's just empty. There's nothing going on with it. But the minute you put color, the minute you put something of your personality into your home, you see how much it resonates, and people that come to your home then has that same experience with you. We also look at land, and again, it's about unlocking the potential of the clients, interpreting their needs, aligning with their thought processes, and really getting to the 0 point, because sometimes we don't know what direction we're going. We just know things are not working, or this space doesn't work for us, or I need to expand. So it's really looking at how we can get to that 0 point, that center, And from that center point, we can then make the changes because now we know what is correct for us moving forward. And also the quality of the environment. Moving through feeling stuck, as I said before, and understanding the form and the vibrational elements around us. And spatial awareness, the grounds, the land, how does the land feel? I had one client who had an amazing big garden. It was a fantastic garden. And she had a natural well in there, but where she wanted where the natural well was, she wanted to put a pool, not a pool, one of those ones that you a hydration pool. That was it, a hydration pool. So she wanted to build one there, and for whatever reason, they dug the hole, everything. It refused. They couldn't block up that area. And I smiled at her and I said to her, well, you've got a natural spring. You want to build something on top of something, but you've already got a natural spring in the middle of your garden. So sometimes we have to understand that the land informs us and it gives us information about different elements that we need. So it's really about nature. So some of the solutions is I've been training with biogeometry, and this science was from Egypt. And it just has so many great qualities about it. And it's really about us understanding the unseen realm and how that influences our space. So we all know about earthing. And really, that's one of the principles. If we can do it naturally, get out in the garden, get rid of some of the electromagnetic field that's been building up in our bodies all day, that's just a really good, healthy way of just living on a day-to-day basis. You know, crystals help us as well. They can help stabilize an environment as well as mitigate some elements of frequencies around you. So the 13 levels of consultations is a part of my own development over the years of looking at all these various systems, training in them. I've trained in feng shui, biogeometry, did some Vashtu, color therapy, light codes, and really finding the link. And once I found the link, I was like, oh, you know, shouldn't everyone know this? And so that's where I'm at this point. It's really about educating you and helping you to live in your environment. So how do we go about this? I've got a new website. My website is full of loads of information that's really helpful for you. And, you know, by booking an appointment, it'd be something that I'll be able to do for you as well. And also now putting together an online course online, which will really be helpful to you moving forward, how to use this space. And one of the things that was really interesting for me, after I finished put together Healthy Energizing Home, and I started to abbreviate it, and it kept on saying her. And I realized that if you take a deep breath in and breathe out, it makes a sound. So I was so pleased because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how attuned it was to what's happening. So her was an Egyptian god, and he was personified with the infinity and space, and was portrayed as a squatting man with his arms outspread, bearing the symbol of many years of life of happiness. Before the world was formed, there was a watery mass of dark directionless chaos, and in that chaos lived a god of hieroglyphs, 4 frog gods and 4 snake goddesses of chaos. These deities was Nut and Nuet for water, Amun Amamet, the invisibility, Her and Hehut, the infinity, and K and Kekut, for darkness. The water stretched infinitely into all directions, as everlasting as time itself. And once the world was created and time begun, Her and Hehut came to symbolize limitless time and long life and happiness. Thank you for joining us. And really, it's about going back to the future. Thank you. You can unmute yourself if you like. If there's any questions.
one question I'd like to ask Cherry. First of all, thank you for the presentation and thank you for the work that you put into it, because obviously it's something that you've spent a lot of time. And when I spoke to you on my podcast, you were planning it, so it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
So what I wanted to ask is that, do you think that this is just going to work for individuals, or will it work in a corporate situation as well?
Oh, it's definitely for both. It's really for all levels of whether you work for yourself, whether you work in an office space, or whether you work for a city or home, is really to amplify it. Because the whole point, it starts with yourself. But if you've got a business that you're running, the environment and the people that work in there are all a reflection of the business. So it's about harmonizing even the people to the business, to the environment, and really to your ethos of what you want your company to be run as. So it works on all dimensions. So it's about creating communities within the home, within the workspace, within
December the 1st is on a
society.
Sunday. So I thought that weekend there will be just right for me.
Liz, we can hear you.
Sorry. Oh, I'm back on. Why am I
Yeah.
back on?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Thank you for explaining that, Cherry. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
1 second. Sorry, Shez?
Yes.
I have got a question.
Mhm.
So if you had 10 people living in the same home, how would you apply this principle?
A very good question. And the reason why that is excellent, because what I have developed is it's called a DNA communication report. And that DNA communication report is individual to each and every person that's within the household. And within the household, we all have a color spectrum and a frequency that we work on. And it's looking at what is the center point, the connection for all of those people within the DNA communication that enables us to then create something unique for that particular family, and which involves everyone, not just one person. Because what we found a lot of time was happening, particularly, and a lot of my feng shui clients would tell you the same thing, that they would work on one person and then their life will go up in all sorts of directions, because not everyone else is in harmony with what is being done with that particular space. And so it's important to kind of work with everyone. You can work with the person that has the most, that wants it the most, but also understanding how it can affect others is very important. Is that helpful,
Thank
Liz?
you. Yeah, that's useful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, so you're all very clear of how to do this. Excellent. I like that. So one of the things I will show you, just going back a bit, hopefully it will let me click on it, is I will ask you all to go onto my website, because it's full of so much information for you. Can you see that? Did it change? Did it change to no? Oh, so I better stop and share then. Okay. Let me stop that. Let me share again. Can you see that now?
That's it.
Yep, can see it.
So yeah, so stop a minute. So yeah, my website is full of loads of different ways that you can now sort of learn more about this topic as well. So on my Healthy Energizing Homes page, you will find the philosophy of what I'm doing, what I spoke about today, and just a breakdown of how it can be used in different spaces. You'll also see a link to my online course. The reason why I've done an online course was really because I'm a person, I like to self-learn. So I love anything that I can just put my head in and go all the way to the end. I love it. So I put that really so I can help people to do exactly what Liz was talking about, was learn for themselves and learn to do it for their family and the family members, so that they can really sort of embody this and start changing society with the new ways of thinking. So that's really good. And we learn through numerology our frequencies, and we learn about harnessing energies. And it's got lots of videos, not of myself, but only of other people similar to me who can really give you a deeper insight into everything that I'm talking about. So it really helps you to learn more about that. And then also on my website, the first CPD is on there as well. So you can get that as well as a token, as you know, of understanding it myself a bit more. And then we've got some blogs down here of different things so that you can really understand how it does affect your home and your environment. So if we click on, oops. So if we click on, hopefully this will take you through to the next page and you can see it. So that's the Healthy Energizing course page. So once, and that just tells you exactly the same thing. But if you go into press buy, and you can just go in there just to see yourself, it takes you through to the course, and it just sort of gives you a bit more again of how the process is. And then as you go through the process, you come down to the bottom. And it just gives you the options that are available to you. So you've got the course that you can buy online. You've got the Healthy Energizing Homes Report, whereby I would do what the course would do, but I would do it for you and we will work together. And that can be for a small family. And obviously, if it's a bigger organization, we will work on how that works. If you wanted to then just do that as a one-off, I also do like smaller reports. So you might not want all the reports, but we can do smaller reports depending on yourself. And then we have the geometric field, which is more about, we start doing interiors, really going into your home, understanding what your home and the specific area that you want to do. And obviously the architectural and aesthetic field is a larger package for a bit more. But within all of them, you get the report. And really, the main thing is, for 150, really, you can just book the consultancy for me to kind of work out which package and which way you want to go, and we can set up a payment plan moving forward. Okay, so that's really something that you can, at your own leisure, you can go into the Healthy Energizing Homes website and find out what's going on with that. And also, you can also look at the architectural page, where it's just all about architecture and buildings that I've done there as well. That's a video, yeah, of other buildings that we've done, 3D videos that we've done there as well. Okay.
Yeah, Cherry, I can give a little short testimonial because when I had a property and we did a lot of renovation work, Cherry assisted by doing evaluating the energy. And sometimes when you do renovation and you change the shape of the house or the flow of the energy, it can create all sorts of challenges, because we knocked through from the dining room into the kitchen, and it created
Vortex.
a vortex, exactly.
Yeah.
And then what happened was that we just kept having conflicts and arguments. It only ever happened in that kitchen dining room area, right where the door was. And so it was very interesting that how it does change its dynamics. So, you know, Cherry was able to sort of like identify, you know, the issue. But yeah, it was very interesting. So I just want to say, you know, that there is really some substance to everything that's being said here.
And I think what's important as well is that with cell towers, we had a cell tower outside your house as well. And it was really about what we've learned in biogeometry. What we learn is a harmonized thing. So feng shui and vastu, sometimes they deflect stuff. So it can go and harm somebody else, but it might not harm you. But in biogeometry, what we've learned is that everything needs to be harmonized. So whatever we correct for us, we correct for everyone in our street. So if you had a vortex that was causing you problems, it's actually causing everybody else's problem too. So if we correct something within your environment, your whole street, your whole environment area could also be affected, because we are all one. And the land that we're on is all connected, even if we don't think so. So I think I've gone on time, hopefully. Oh, 5 minutes to spare. So thank you all so much. Please give me some feedback, whether it's through a voice note or whether it's through a quick email, because obviously things may come up that you'll be like, oh, I wish I should have asked that, you know. So feel free, please, to connect to me and ask me any of those questions, because I will be delighted to talk. And if you know any organizations or people that would be interested in me talking to them about this topic, and just, it's time to get it out there. I realize it's 2025. The retrograde is good. It's moving out of Capricorn. It's going into Aquarius. I am free for the next 20 years to be me. So it's been in there since 2008. It's been a struggle, but I'm free now to really shine and show this new thing, which is really everyone on the planet is definitely talking about. So let's be a part of the movement moving forward. Thank you.
Thank
You can
you.
unmute yourselves.
Thank you, Cherry. Much appreciated. And thanks for taking the time to share that with us.
Thank you. And in regards to the length of the presentation, was that fine or?
Yeah, it was good.
That's fine.
Good. Fantastic.
Thanks, Sheza.
Thank
you.
you. Take
Bye.
care. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.